Hey, Kyle's Wonderful here again with another wrestling review. This time it's NJPW G1 Night 13 from August 7th, 2021, live from Osaka, Japan. After the best night of G1 so far, it's definitely going to be tough to top that one, but with the action heating up as hot as the Japanese summer is, I felt like it might push the others to go beyond what they thought was possible. So this should be another great action to close out a triple header weekend. Second night in a row in Osaka with a huge A block monster block match in the main event, Okada versus Jonah, which definitely is the match of the night. Great match. But we'll start from the top of the card, or the bottom of the card, if you will, and it's the six-man tag team match to kick us off. And Hiroshi, Tanahashi, and Goto prepare for what could be a decisive C block clash in Hiroshima Wednesday. They battle for the upper hand today, while YOSHI-HASHI and David Finlay also look to make a statement before meeting next Sunday in Nagano. So it'll be David Finlay, Tanahashi, and Nakashima, the young lion, versus Chaos members Goto, Yano, and YOSHI-HASHI. So Goto's great music starts off our event tonight. Then Yano gets his super long introduction for his DVD. YOSHI-HASHI's here too, pumped up after his big win last night over ELP. So meanwhile, Goto has to be a little bit discouraged after his loss to Zack Saber Jr., putting Goto in a bad situation now. So Tanahashi's music now hits as Nakashima finally gets a chance to step in the ring on this tour. The young lion's been getting destroyed every single night without wrestling any matches. Now he finally gets a match here, does Nakashima. So he's followed by the C and D block leaders, Hiroshi, Tanahashi, and David Block Finlay. And Yano yells before the match even starts here. Hiromu's on commentary for the second night in a row on Japanese commentary. And Yano must have been yelling at Nakashima after last night. Nakashima did not appreciate Yano taping him the Archer, causing great harm to Nakashima last night, which was a really funny spot. But Nakashima getting some instant chance to get revenge here, attacking Yano before the bell even rings. So those two are going to start the match. Yano's able to take control and tag in YOSHI-HASHI, getting away from the young lion who's mad at him. And Nakashima then gets taken down and implied in a headlock by YOSHI-HASHI. The crowd cheers loudly for Nakashima to get out, and he does by getting to the ropes. Goto now tags in, and he wears down Nakashima into the corner, then hits a kick to the back for a 2 count. Then still there's some fight left in Nakashima here. The young lion swings wildly. Goto just absorbs those attacks, but Nakashima hits a nice running forearm, knocking Goto down, allowing him to tag out to Tanahashi. So Tanahashi comes in and he's knocking YOSHI-HASHI and Yano off the apron, then hits a sling blade on Goto. Tanahashi hits a striking combo with body shots, a scoop slam, and a middle rope senton for a 2 count. Great flurry from Tanahashi there, who's definitely fired up. He blocks an Ushigoroshi attempt from Goto, but Goto gets control anyway, hitting a running bulldog after that for a 2 count. They both duck under lariats now until Tanahashi hits another sling blade and is able to tag in David Finlay, who comes in with some big attacks on YOSHI-HASHI, who also tagged in. YOSHI-HASHI hits the headhunter neckbreaker, the headhunter blockbuster, but YOSHI-HASHI has tape on his shoulder for the first time all tour, so he's not really able to get back on that one. So Finlay counters a move into a backdrop suplex. Nakashima wants tagged in now, so Finlay tags in the young lion. Nakashima hits a running forearm and a hip toss, then knocks Goto off the apron. YOSHI-HASHI then gets hit with a triple team here, ending with a scoop slam from Nakashima, who then applies a Boston Crab on YOSHI-HASHI, who's definitely sore from last night. This might be a rare time that a young lion could sneak in a victory. Finlay and Tanahashi on the outside hold on to Goto and Yano so that they can't break the hold, but YOSHI-HASHI is able to get to the ropes in time before tapping out or anything. So Nakashima tries to apply the Boston Crab again, but YOSHI-HASHI blocks it this time, then hits a kick, catches a kick and counters a charging Nakashima. YOSHI-HASHI then hits a neck breaker for a 2 count. YOSHI-HASHI applies the inverted full Nelson, causing Nakashima to tap out here. So the winners of the match by submission, Chaos. So not much Yano shenanigans in this match, which is good. As much as I thought he was great, funny, and that was a good comedy match last night, I can only take so many comedy matches. So Tanahashi looks confident here for going into the rest of his G1, thanking the fans before leaving. And Finlay and YOSHI-HASHI talk trash in each other's face. They've got a big match coming up this week with David Finlay in the lead of the D block, which is wild. So the next match is in a 2-on-2 tag match. Gorillas of Destiny, Jado, and Tonga taking out House of Tortures, Sho, and Yujiro. So with 3 matches left to wrestle, Tonga gets set for a busy final 2 weeks, taking on House of Torture and tag team action here, while the final boss of Tama's revenge campaign throughout G1 remains Jay White on August 16th. He'll gladly take the time to put the boots to Yujiro and Sho here, who turned on him during when Bullet Club kicked Tonga out. So this should be a heated affair. Yujiro's music hits as the senpai of the team. He comes out with Sho. They both have matching blonde hair and white t-shirts, looking like Yujiro's little mini-me does Sho. No Peter here. She only works on league matches, and no fear coming from Yujiro and Sho about facing Tama and Jado here, who are looking for revenge. They don't look worried whatsoever. So I definitely want to see Jado versus Dick Togo in a match at some point. It could be a good one for Jado to just get some revenge here. So anyway, Togo's busy with Evil tonight, getting ready for his league match later against Hanari. Tonga and Jado look focused for this one. Gorillas of Destiny then they are ready for the sneak attack, and Gorillas of Destiny are able to start the match in control since they were ready for the sneak attack. They throw House of Torture into each other and gets rid of Yujiro to double team Sho. Thomas now screaming loudly. It startled me. It was one of those Brock Lesnar high pitched screams. House of Torture now take control after that, and Jado gets thrown into the ring post by Yujiro. Then Sho gets a 2 count on Jado and tags in Yujiro. Yujiro applies a hold on the arms and is having trouble. Jado's having trouble getting out. Sho now tags in, and Jado's in trouble after a kick combo to his head. Sho now paintbrushes Jado's head with some soft kicks as Jado gets up and the crowd cheers him on. Sho rakes the eyes, and both men now tag out. Tama now quickens the pace here to his liking as he goes after Yujiro, who attacked Tama during the betrayal of Bullet Club. So Tama hits a big attack here, rips his shirt off, and hits a nice suplex, almost winning the match right there. The crowd loves it. Jado now tags in. They hit a double team, finishing with a Jado clothesline for a 2 count. Jado applies a cross face right after this. But Sho runs in to break the hold. So Tama rushes in, destroying Sho right away, and Yujiro hits Tama with his pimp cane right in the head. Jado is able to counter the cane shot with a liver punch here. The referee missed everything until Jado now has the cane. So Jado gives the cane to the referee. The referee puts the cane out of the ring. As that's happening, Yujiro hits a low blow, then pimp juice for the 1-2-3. The winners of this match by pinfall, House of Torture. So this was a fun match here. Tama would have to wait a little bit longer for his revenge, but the big revenge he wants is on Jay White. So he wants to take not only Jay White's G1 chances, but his title as well. Sho seems pleased with himself, and Yujiro doesn't really seem to care whatsoever. So 8-man tag match next. In the third match of this evening, we'll see Suzuki-gun and Los Ingobernables de Japon once again locking up in 8-man tag action, with Naito rearing back from 2 early losses, now sitting at 4 points, 2-2, and Zack Saber is now sitting tied at top with 6 points. It will be the August 16th, the final block day bout between Naito and Zack Saber Jr. that might settle the fate of C block, the hardest block there is. So will this turn out to be a key preview? I'm guessing it will be. Archer comes storming down to the ring right away. He destroys the Young Lions Fujita with a forearm, and then Oiwa gets crushed into the barricade as well. Nakashima not getting destroyed this time since he had a match. It looks like he wasn't back out yet. So Taka and Taichi come out. Taichi's the only one that seems to be bothered with Taka Michinoku losing all their tag matches, and Zack and Archer don't even seem to care whatsoever. But that makes sense that Taichi would be the one that cares. He's doing his YouTube streams where like Archer and Zack probably don't interact with fans whatsoever. They wouldn't. And then Taichi has his YouTube streams where the fans are probably bothering him about losing all these tag matches. And that would be the only reason I can think of for Taichi to actually care. So Bushi then comes out first, and he leads the full LIJ faction here in action. Even Hiromu Takahashi is ringside on commentary. So, like I said yesterday, hopefully we get to see Hiromu for a few matches on this tour, and give maybe Bushi a spell. So SANADA comes out next, and then last night's big main event winner, Shingo. So that was awesome. Great match last night. Shingo versus Ospreay. Last out, of course, is Naito. He's preparing for Kenta in this coming week, but did not want to read Kenta's book, saying it was too wordy. But you never know with Naito. He might have already read the book cover to cover at home, with a separate book that he bought right away to scout their match, or he maybe just went to a restaurant and relaxed. There's no telling what Naito actually does. But Naito comes out with the book again that he seemed to have left behind yesterday, that we saw in the backstage comments. But no, he has the book back. He must have went back and grabbed it after the camera stopped rolling. So Taichi gets close to SANADA as they have their weird rivalry slash I don't know, love thing going on here. Taichi is getting too close to him. Naito's showing Zack Saber Jr. something in Kenta's book. Maybe it was Kenta talking about Zack in the book, and Naito wanted to show him. So Taichi makes his pecs dance, trying to get SANADA to do it here, but Shingo just gives him a dirty look that makes Taichi go away. So LIJ take their time as usual. Zack's starting to get impatient. Naito wants to start the match with Zack Saber Jr. as they will meet on the final day of C block action, where it could be winner take all in C block. Naito messes around a little bit here, then they tie up a grapple and they counter each other back and forth here until Naito gets a headlock on. Zack easily gets out and puts a headlock of his own. Naito gets out hitting a Manhattan drop, but Zack then blocks combination on Cabron, and they grapple around with a really quick pace, but are really even here. So a good preview of their match, how it's going to be probably on the 16th, I think it is. So Zack acts like he's going to tag out, but then tries to do a sneak attack. Naito was ready for it, catching the kick, and then tags in SANADA, who comes in and then tries to put Zack into the Paradise Lock, but Zack is able to counter and then tag in Taichi, who traps SANADA into the Suzuki-gun corner. Taichi with a headlock takedown, hitting some kicks, then tries a few of those throat holds of his, but the referee yells at him. Bushi runs in, Taichi takes him out. Naito runs in, he gets a throat hold as well. Shingo too. So the crowd's now clapping all that cheating, classic stuff from the Osaka crowd who likes their cheating. To a certain extent, they're not going to cheer for the House of Torture. Who would? So SANADA then hits a massive drop kick, and Archer now tags in and attacks SANADA, who had nobody to tag out to, as everyone had just been taken out. Archer picks up the pace here for a big man, which is always cool to see, and hitting multiple rushing back elbows. Great flurry from the big man here. So SANADA and Archer do know each other very well from their days in TNA together a long time ago. So SANADA now flips out of a suplex attempt and tags in Shingo, who comes in and knocks Zack off the apron hard, then tries a shoulder tackle on Archer, who just laughs at it. Shingo uses his speed advantage to evade any attacks here, and then Archer blocks a suplex attempt, and Archer hits a running cross body. So Archer's really good for his size and age. He's just getting better and better, adding like these lucha style fast paced moves to his arsenal has only made Archer that much better. So Shingo's just barely to avoid able to avoid a blackout attempt here. Archer absorbs some lariats, but then a pumping bomber lariat is able to take Archer down. Shingo with that pumping bomb lariat. Taka and Bushi now both tag in. They keep the pace that Archer set of all people really fast. Taka gets the face lock on Bushi, or the just face lock, I should say, as Zack gets an ankle lock on Naito, and SANADA gets Zack out of the ring instead. Bushi then hits a nice drop kick, a lung blower, and the MX middle rope code breaker. All of those on Taka, of course, and of course it gets the 1, 2, 3. The winners of this match by pinfall, Los Ingobernables de Japon. So Naito and Zack talk about Kenta's book more as they're laughing and joking around. Zack puts his arm around Naito and says, "Hey, do you remember what happened in this building?" And they're just acting like friends here. But then Zack walks over to the English commentators and says, "No, I'm not friends with Naito. He's a bloody idiot." So that was pretty funny there. Just like they've got great chemistry together, and it should be a great match based on that. So I'll let Jay do a little shout out here to Hiromu, who's over on Japanese commentary. They do a 4-man fist pose. Then Shingo tells Hiromu, "It's about time you start wrestling again," or something like that. And then Shingo tells Hiromu to get into the ring. I noticed that Naito had already left, and before Hiromu can actually enter the ring, he's on the apron. The other three leave without doing a fist pose with him. So Hiromu yells at them for making a fool out of him, and we move on to our next match. Really good match, good tag match so far tonight, and we've got another maybe good one coming up because it is United Empire will face Bullet Club in the last tag match of the evening, and one with a potentially very telling glimpse into the future. In the immediate past, Jay White and Great O'Connor coming off of their B block matches, or other B block match against each other less than 24 hours ago, where Jay White went a perfect 4-0. And the first person and only person to do that, I believe. But this is also the first meeting of Will Ospreay and Jay White in any ring since Will Ospreay formed United Empire in 2020. So both men have legitimate claims to being the best wrestler in the world currently, while the catalyst of professional wrestling, Switchblade, has the definitive proof in the form of the title. Ospreay's status as United States and British heavyweight champion are impossible to ignore. So with the win for Ospreay in their 2020 G1 class, the most recent result on the record between these two, there will doubtlessly be a thick layer of tension in the air when Ospreay and White, two of the best wrestlers in the world currently, get in the ring at the same time tonight. So United Empire come out first, of course, captained by United Empire leader Will Ospreay, who refuses to wear the United States title around his waist until he is able to defeat Finlay in a rematch after G1, or maybe he'll just lose the title to Finlay. So either way, then the new DX version of the Bullet Club music hits as Jay White captains his team, being the leader of Bullet Club here. Kenta comes out first, then Switchblade with Gato right beside him, and Jay White is the first, like I said, to go 4-0 this year. But it might all come down to his match against Tama Tonga on the final night of block matches. So we still got a lot to play for here. Gato holds the Switchblade pendant right in Will Ospreay's face as Jay White stares at Ospreay for a second before turning his back on him with a sign of disrespect. So Will has his arms crossed here. He looks like a mix of mad, whiny, and focused. Jay's cocky and in a good mood. They too sweet in the corner, and everyone stares each other down. So Jay wants to start the match. So does Will. And here we go. Two of the best wrestlers in the world. One night after Shingo and Will Ospreay tore the house down in one of the matches of the year in the main event in Osaka G1 night 12. So now we're G1 night 13, less than 24 hours later, as this took place in the afternoon. Yesterday's event was at night, so not even 24 hours later. Jay White then says we can hear him. I'm the big man now. It's on my terms. So then Jay White tags out, and talking more trash here, he doesn't want to start the match with Will Ospreay. So Kenta comes in, hitting a massive kick to the body already. Jay White then attacks from behind, and Will pulls Gato's beard after that, and Kenta accidentally makes the situation even worse. Great O'Connor is able to tag in, and he hits Mongolian chops here, but Kenta counters to take control. Jay White now tags in, and he goes back to work on O'Con's knee that Jay White attacked in yesterday's G1 League match they had against each other. So Jay then pulls O'Con up by his hair braid. Then Kenta takes some cheap shots as Jay tells the referee, "Oh, look, Will's trying to enter the ring." So Gato then pulls the beard of O'Con, and Jay slams O'Con back first into the barricade hard twice. Back in the ring now, Gato gets a 2 count, and he's yelling at the referee for a faster count. Jay tags in and attacks O'Con while saying, "Thank you for the 2 points yesterday." Then Jay White mocks the Mongolian chops. This just fires up O'Con after that disrespect, hitting a big snap suplex. Kenta now tags in, and Gato runs in to attack Cobb and Ospreay, preventing O'Con from tagging out. O'Con then gets out of the double team, but Jay comes in and attacks the knee further. Will comes in and blocks a Blade Runner from Jay. Then Will flips out of a sleeper suplex. Great little preview for whenever they do have their big match, whether it be in G1 or for the title later on. But that would be a great Wrestle Kingdom match, if for sure. So after that great flurry, O'Con and Cobb now double team Gato, throw him back and forth like a child. Cobb doesn't catch Gato one of the times. Gato falls hard. Cobb hits a standing moonsault. Kenta tries to come into the ring to help Gato, but gets sent out hard, and Great O'Con easily locks in the sheep killer, forcing Gato to tap out. So the winners of the match by pin or by submission is United Empire. So Will and Jay are now talking trash. Jay White destroys Will Ospreay here by saying, "I'm undefeated. You lost twice, and one of them was the David Finlay." So burn there. So Kenta then looks unbothered by this loss. He's going to get ready for his big match against Naito this week. Great Khan is limping severely to the back now. Not having a good G1 is Great Khan. I mean, his matches have been fine, but not getting the results he wants. Now we have a little quick intermission that nothing of note happens, and then we've got 5 league matches to round up our night. So in C block action, we'll start with the 5 with C block, and we'll end in the main event with C block as well. So this is a must win for Hanari, who pretty much is already effectively eliminated, but Evil still with a chance at 1 and 2. So after a hot start against Hiroshi, Tanahashi, and Hokkaido, Aaron Hanari now has fallen to 1 and 3, like I said, effectively out of the running, but his hard hits and strong performances have been a common thread, whether in victory or defeat. There would be definitely something cathartic about the Ultimate Weapons strikes, punishing both Evil and Dick Kotogo, but after a humiliating defeat that Hiroshi, Tanahashi, and Ihame Friday, there's no doubt that the King of Darkness will not be letting up in this one. 1 and 2 and needing a win, House of Torture will be doing everything in their power as a unit to protect their investment here, and Hanari will have to have his head on a swivel tonight in Osaka. So Evil comes out first, of course, accompanied by Dick Togo. They'll definitely have some kind of devious plan going. Aaron Hanari now out next, who I've been more and more impressed with every single time I see Hanari. It's to the point where Hanari is one of my favorites in New Japan. I always know that he's going to have a slobber knocker, big hitting match, and right away Hanari starts out with some strong strikes and a springboard karate kick to kick us off here. Both men are about the same size, so this should be a great slobber knocker, like I said. Evil immediately goes out of the ring, and then Hanari goes out to follow him and then immediately gets distracted by Togo, chasing Togo around, allowing Evil to hit a lariat as Hanari is getting back in the ring, chasing Togo. So Hanari then absorbs Evil's shots, so Evil just rakes the eyes instead. This fires up Hanari even more now, who hits big body punches, but Evil throws Hanari into the exposed turnbuckle. Nobody but Dick Togo and Evil had noticed that the turnbuckle pad was off. So Evil then knocks Hanari off the apron into the barricade, sending the ring announcer flying behind the barricade. That was wild right there. So now the referee is checking on the ring announcer, and Dick Togo helps Evil out here, but Hanari hits a double hip toss, taking both men down, blocking the double team attempt. Hanari then unloads some more massive body shots on Evil, sending Evil flipping over the barricade head first hard. That looked awesome. So it's been a really bad day, about 8-day span for Evil. First losing the Naito last Sunday. Now after Tanahashi embarrassed him and his whole faction, he's now getting sent head over heels over the barricade. Back in the ring now, Hanari hits the Blue Justice knee strike in the corner, and the crowd is 100% behind Hanari in this match. Evil blocks an Ultimate Weapon full Nelson attempt, so Hanari just hits a huge punch and a kick that takes Evil down instead. Hanari hits a middle rope senton for a 2 count, and that looked like it drove the air out of Evil's lungs, who's definitely going to find it hard to breathe for the next minute or so. Togo notices this, and he's able to grab the leg of Hanari, allowing Evil to take control off of the distraction. Evil now hits Darkness Falls, and Hanari just barely able to kick out in time. One of the men is breathing super heavily. I'm guessing it's Evil, who just had the air crushed out of him, and that might have been what saved Hanari here, who was able to now block everything's Evil, and then hit a Rampage Spear. So that won't help the already drained stamina of Evil at all. So Hanari fires up here, lifts Evil up easily as if he was a junior heavyweight. Evil then gets down before anything happens and gets thrown into Dick Togo, who was up on the apron. Evil looks to be a little bit knocked out now. Evil uses the referee to block another Ultimate Weapon attempt, and the referee goes to slap Evil off of him, like the hold that he had on his shirt, but the referee accidentally slaps Hanari right in the face while trying to get Evil off of him. So the referee gets backed into the corner by a pissed off Hanari, and then the referee gets knocked down by Evil, who runs into Hanari from behind. So now Dick Togo gets in the ring. Hanari applies the ultimate weapon on him, but Evil is able to get Togo out of that, throws a chair hard in Hanari's face, and then hits everything Evil as the referee's waking up just in time to count the 1, 2, 3. The winner of this match by pinfall, King of Darkness, Evil. So it takes Evil to a record of 2-2, keeping him alive. Next, he has Zack Saber Jr. on Wednesday, and then on the final night, Evil takes on Goto. So Hanari's super mad here, being officially eliminated, but he was already looking bad before tonight. After picking up the win against Hiroshi Tanahashi on night 1, the second match where Zack Saber Jr. attacked the surgically repaired Achilles tendon of Hanari, pretty much ruined Hanari's chances going forward, losing the next 2 after that Zack Saber Jr. loss, dropping now to 1-4. So Hanari will finish his first ever G1 against Kenta, which should be a great striking match right there. Big body punches versus big body kicks. Next match in A block, monster block action. Oh, I was talking about C. So this is the other one in the monster block. Sorry about the confusion earlier, but Bad Luck Fale versus Tom Lawler will be in this one. Tom Lawler comes in with a 1-2 record, and Bad Luck Fale still alive as well with a 2-2 record. So Tom Lawler finally got his first points on the board in his G1 career in Hamamatsu this Tuesday with the win over Toru Yano, giving a huge boost of confidence to the filthy one before his encounter with Bad Luck Fale tonight. So for the Rogue General, a 2-2 record is keeping him in the mix, but his match schedule means he'll be the first in A block to reach 5 matches today. After this meeting, he'll have to sit and wait for Jonah on August 16th. On the final day at Budokan. So the situation is behind or beyond his control. May just push him out of the running by then. Best Fale can do is to control his own destiny, is the best of his abilities, which means defeating Tom Lawler tonight. In a pre-tournament interview, Lawler suggested that conditioning will be critical for after 4 matches of accumulated damage on Fale, and the midsummer heat and humidity playing a factor as well. So there's no doubt that he and Team Filthy partner Royce Isaacs will be doing everything in their power to keep this match contained in the ring, where Fale lost to Jeff Cobb and Okada via pinfall, but he got Archer to get counted out. So they're not going to look for that for sure, or they're looking to avoid that. Bad Luck Fale now comes out first, then Filthy Tom Lawler dances his way out to the ring, the entire crowd clapping along with his music. Tom's definitely one of the most popular guys on this entire tour, and whoever loses this match is probably out of it. The winner stays alive. Big match here for Tom, the first ever New Japan Strong Champion, taking on a New Japan veteran here and a monster of a man, Bad Luck Fale. So a win here will keep Tom's chances alive and probably will guarantee that he'll be invited back to Japan, maybe for more dates before next year's G1, where he'll probably get invited back again as well. So hopefully that happens. Fale now attacks Tom before he can even take his shorts off with his normal routine, throwing Tom right out of the ring, and the crowd's now clapping the filthy rhythm even after the music's gone. So Fale follows Tom out there, slams him hard into the barricade. Tom's about 3 times smaller than Fale here, but one good submission will probably be able to take out Fale as long as Fale isn't able to power out to the ropes. So like an ankle lock, for instance, probably wouldn't work. Fale then stacks about 4 barricades on top of Tom, maybe even like 6. Royce is able to help Tom get out of these barricades with 2 seconds to spare before getting counted out. So Fale looking for the count out victory yet again. The crowd's now clapping the filthy rhythm again, but Fale hits slow prodding strikes here to keep control. A simple scoop slam on Tom has Tom in trouble with the size difference there. A scoop slam really hurt him. So Fale stands on Tom here, who's, by the way, Tom's been getting absolutely rocked in the head the last couple of events, even though they weren't G1 matches. So Tom's coming in with a little bit of a hurting head, and Fale's now standing on Tom and stuff like that. Tom evades a big stomp, however, and hits some leg kicks here, but Fale comes back with a huge spear in response. Tom kicks his way out of a grenade attempt and then applies an ankle lock, but like I said, Fale is easily able to get to the ropes on a submission like that where he can overpower Tom Lawler, who's much smaller. So Tom then slides out of the ring and he's going like hiding or something. He goes under the ring, out the other side, and applies another ankle lock, this time dragging Fale to the outside as we hit the 5-minute mark. Tom now finally takes his shorts off and then uses them around the neck of Fale. When Fale rolls back in the ring, Tom hits some strikes on the knee, working over the knee of Fale now, then hits a perfect Owen Hart spinning heel kick into the corner. Great stuff from Tom Lawler, who now applies the sleeper hold, and Fale is struggling with this. Tom transitions it into the straight jacket hold, but Fale gets out before Tom can turn it into the NKOTB, which is his finisher for the big guys. Fale then takes control here, gets a 2 count, and the crowd claps the filthy rhythm yet again. So Fale hits the grenade now, but Tom, one of the few people in New Japan that is now kicked out of the grenade just in time. Tom keeps his match and G1 alive. Tom counters a bad luck fall now into another sleeper hold, and Fale gets backs himself into the corner, trying to break it, but Tom hits a big DDT, spiking the big man's head into the mat hard. Tom now signals for the end and applies another sleeper hold. Fale's definitely fading now. Tom breaks the hold himself, hits a running kick to the back of Fale's knee, to the front of it actually, and then a knee strike to Fale's face, but only for a 2 count. So Tom fires up, looking to end it here, and sets up and hits the nasty knee on the brain for the 1-2-3. The winner of this match by pinfall, filthy Tom Lawler, and Tom Lawler now has Okada next. So huge match for Tom Lawler, who survives and wins 2 straight after losing his first 2, improving his record to a 2-2 mark. So Fale is completely eliminated at 1-3, having already lost to Okada, who can't finish worse than 3-3. So big here for Tom Lawler. He'll have 2 more matches to go, starting with Okada, and that'll be a huge match on Wednesday. All right. Next is in the D block action, where David Finlay's the surprise leader, and it'll be Juice Robinson, who's basically already eliminated at 1-3, taking on El Phantasmo, who wrestled last night in a league match. So the first person to have 2 league matches in a row. The singles record between these two is Juice Robinson 1-0. So the last of the 3 Bullet Club derbies in D block sees Juice Robinson face El Phantasmo here. After a hot start against Shingo in Hokkaido, Juice Robinson dropped the next 3 straight against David Finlay, YOSHI-HASHI, and then Yujiro Takahashi. So at 2 points, Juice is effectively out of the running, can only hope to win with a bunch of luck on his way. Phantasmo's faring only a little bit better here, having a match in hand over Robinson, but cannot afford another loss here. So the ultra competitive D block, neither is willing to give up any ground for the sake of Bullet Club harmony. In Philadelphia last year, Juice defeated ELP on New Japan Strong, but Robinson and El Phantasmo have made heavyweight transitions, and for one, it was ELP going to heavyweight. For the other, turning heel, becoming rock hard. So El Phantasmo has 2 matches left after today, and this is the second to last one for Juice, who has a game in hand. Let's get into this one. ELP comes out first, being the first man in this G1 to wrestle back-to-back league matches. So after a tough loss to YOSHI-HASHI last night, where ELP found it tough to lift the heavyweight up for his CR2 finisher, since ELP just made the transition from junior heavyweight to heavyweight. ELP then says that his back's killing him. Juice comes out next, having had a nightmare of a G1, letting his loss to David Finlay bleed into his other matches. Juice is basically eliminated already, so that raises the chance that we might see him throw the match here for ELP, who still has a chance, and had a league match last night. So the 2 men's 2 sweep before the match starts. Juice doesn't look as mad as he's been, maybe accepting his fate that his G1's over. The bell rings. Juice wants to shake hands, and ELP does, saying, "Good, clean, professional wrestling match." So now the crowd's clapping a little bit here. They want the crowd to be quiet instead. They want them to be silent. So they tease locking up, joke around a little bit here, then trade wrist locks back and forth, flipping around. The commentators mock them. It turns into a slow motion comedy match straight out of DDT, which would be fine, I guess, on any other card. But a G1 match, come on. I'm here to watch G1. The match ends up getting pretty good, but this was tough to watch at the beginning here. The Osaka crowd liked it, though, and now 5 minutes have passed, if you can believe it, without really anything happening other than comedy stuff. So ELP rolls Juice up with his feet up on the ropes. Now, the referee does not count the hold due to the feet on the ropes. Juice then rolls up ELP right after that, holding the tights, and the referee again refuses the count. So now they both yell at the referee. They both crash into each other, trying to take out the referee. Now they talk trash on each other, get a chair and a table, set up the chair and the table, and have a arm wrestling match of all things. So only one chair, though. That was weird. Anyway, they have an arm wrestling match that the crowd seems to like here. ELP cheats the win with his second arm using helping him win the arm wrestling match. So Juice then throws the chair hard into ELP's face, mounts for some punches. The referee did not see the chair shot. So Juice then takes ELP up the entrance ramp, headbutts on the way, and then Juice tries to hit a pile driver on the ramp, but and does actually, sorry, Juice does hit the pile driver here, sending ELP's head crashing into the ramp. Now Juice takes the referee to the ring and says, start at 20 count. So ELP Benny Hills his way, stumbling, bumbling, eventually getting in the ring at 19. Juice now applies a high angle lion tamer. That was looking cool, but ELP gets to the ropes to break the hold. ELP then blocks a pulp friction attempt, then clotheslines Juice right out of the ring and dives out of the ring onto Juice, almost diving way too far. Juice had to catch him from flying over the barricade, and Juice in turn got his back hit hard into the barricade. So ELP now sets the table back up, banging the headbanger here, banging the head of Juice into the table until Juice's head goes right through the table. So when Juice comes back up, that was pretty cool. He was like, what is it? The ostriches that put their hands in the sand, or the heads in the sand. But then Juice comes up, he's busted wide open now. ELP bites the wound, of course, then sets Juice up on the table. ELP goes up to the top rope, but Juice rolls off the table. ELP decides to tightrope walk over the top rope, but falls into the ring. So he just switches it up to a nice tope con hero to the outside instead. Then ELP goes over, does do the tightrope walk into the Thunder Kiss 86 for a 2 count. ELP then hits a Styles Clash also for a 2 count. So Juice has some fight left in him after all. Eventually, this had turned into a good match after that terrible 5 minutes in the start. ELP now hits a V-trigger knee strike and tries to hit a one-winged angel, but Juice is able to block this. ELP blocks a pulp friction attempt. Juice then hits the left-handed god as ELP is hitting the sudden death super kick. Both are down. Once they're up, Juice blocks another CR2 attempt with a low blow from his head, like pushing his head up. So Juice then hits the left-handed god, followed by pulp friction, but somehow ELP also has the fire inside the kick out. Juice then gets a chair to pile drive ELP on, but ELP uses that same headbutt up technique for a low blow to block that one, throws the chair in the ring right into the face of Juice in front of the referee. The referee looks around, thinks about it, calls for the bell to end the match. The winner of this match by disqualification, Rock Hard Juice Robinson. So ELP just ruined his chances at the G1 tournament with that chair shot and will definitely be mad at him. Juice goes to 2-3 now, and he has Will Ospreay next on the final day of Black Action. ELP will sits in the ring now, contemplating what just happened. What has he done? He falls to 1-3 now, and his G1 hopes are all but gone. So ELP takes on David Finlay, the Black leader, next on Wednesday. Then Shingo Takagi on the final night. So that'll be a big match, regardless if ELP is gone, because Shingo's probably still going to be in it. So we've got our semifinal match now in B block action. It'll be Tomohiro Ishii versus Chase Owens. Ishii comes in with already eliminated at 1-3. Chase Owens comes in already eliminated at 1-3. They have one match against each other before that Ishii won. So with identical 1-3 records here, they're fighting for pride, not getting to the final four. So yeah, Ishii's no stranger to fighting for pride. This happens to him a lot, so he knows what to do here. And Owens was very eager to throw his match for Jay White for a hefty payoff. Now has to try and dust that off for some pride to get into this match. So Chase Owens comes out first, Tomohiro then out next looking for a fight. Chase has a bad elbow coming into this match after his last fight, and then they'll start with a lockup here. So Ishii actually gets pushed to the ropes here. Clean break from Chase Owens, which I didn't expect. Ishii then does not give a clean break because he wants to have a fight. He's like, Chase Owens, I know usually you would always have not a clean you would always strike me there. So get into the match, treat it like it's a real match. And that was funny. So Chase then shoves Ishii and the referee and then gets knocked out with a big strike from Ishii. So Chase rolls out of the ring to recover. Back in the ring now, Ishii hits some big chops. Chase blocks a Saito suplex, then hyperextends the knee of Ishii over. That looked nasty. So Chase goes on the attack on that knee now. Super slow pace to this one so far. Imagine Chase Owens and Ishii being the ones that go 30 minutes. That would be interesting, but thankfully that doesn't happen. But the match does end up picking up later on. So Chase hits that knee more. The crowd is completely silent. They're big Ishii fans. They don't like to see this. And this is definitely a far cry from how great last night was. But not every night can be that good. And it hasn't been terrible, but not really great either tonight. Chase now attacks the knee for a long time. Boring. Eventually, the crowd gets restless, claps for Ishii to fight back. And I think I just heard we're 5 minutes into this match. I swear it felt like 15. So Ishii now hits a vertical suplex that finally changed the momentum, and the match gets good from here on out. So definitely skip the first 5 minutes. Ishii now hits multiple forearms and chops. Chase counters with charging Ishii with a big boot. Sorry, but Ishii then hits a Saito suplex in response. The crowd's now getting louder with their support of Ishii, who then Chase hits a combo. Finishing with the Bobby Eaton neckbreaker. Chase is now limping a little bit too. Ishii then evades a C-trigger knee strike and gets knocked out of the ring anyway. So Chase follows him out there, hitting a big chop, but Chase probably breaks a bone in his hand while Ishii evades the next chop, sending Chase's hands hard into the ring post. So Chase counters a barricade shot. Then this was one of the nastiest moves of the night. Ishii getting like flipped over, hitting his head hard into the barricade. That was nasty. Ishii just barely able to kick out back in the ring. Then Ishii counters the jewel heist attempt into a German suplex. Both men are down now, recovering as the crowd claps for Ishii to get back up. Ishii does and hits a corner lariat, then sets Chase up to the top rope and hits a nasty deadlift delayed German vertical superplex. So that was great. Now we're at the 10-minute mark as Chase kicks out at 2. Things definitely heated up in that second 5-minute span. So Chase blocks a power bomb here, then starts a forearm battle that he's not going to want to do for very long. Ishii hits really quick elbow strikes with both arms here, but Chase counters a charging Ishii with a C-trigger knee strike into a jewel heist, but Ishii is able to kick out. The crowd gets loud now as both men counter back and forth. Chase hits some strikes here, but Ishii hits a half and half suplex. Chase is able to get up and hits a super kick for a 2 count. Ishii then counters a package pile driver attempt with a back body drop, and then Ishii absorbs a lariat and hits a nasty headbutt to the jaw. Both men are now down as the crowd gets super loud. Great flurry now, ending with Ishii kicking out of a C-trigger and then hitting a lariat for a 2 count. He kicked out at 1 of that C-trigger, by the way, then hit the lariat for the 2 count. Now 15 minutes are in. The first 5 minutes sucked of this match, but the last 10 have been great. So now Chase counters a sliding lariat, but Ishii gets rebounded off the ropes, hitting another sliding lariat, and this one connects. Then Ishii signals for the brain buster, but Chase counters it into a Manhattan drop and a backslide for a 2 count. Ishii almost got caught with that backslide, but before Ishii can get up, Chase hits another C-trigger. Ishii blocks a package pile driver, but Chase fights back and hits the package pile driver for the 1-2-3. The winner of this match by pinfall, the crown jewel, Chase Owens. So great match after all. Skip the first 5 minutes. The rest of the 12 minutes are great. So maybe that'll lead us to having a great main event to save this night, and it does. So things picked up at the end of the night here. Chase improves, getting to one of his biggest singles wins in New Japan history, improving his record to 2-3. But with Jay White at 4-0, Chase was already eliminated, but will try to help Jay by beating SANADA on Tuesday. Chase then says to the English announcers, "How was that for a surprise? Put some respect on my name." So Ishii now falls to 1-4 and is long gone, but ready to fight until the end. He's got one more match. So it's main event time now in Osaka. It'll be Kazuchika Okada at 3-0 against Jonah at 2-1 in A block action. So Okada created a theme for himself heading into the G1 of the superhero human contender taking on monstrous opposition. And no other match on the schedule sums up that idea better than tonight's main event. After a first match loss to Toru Yano, Jonah doesn't have the perfect record Okada possesses, but a win would definitely give the top dog his moniker considerably credibility here. So that Jonah struggles for credibility. A super heavyweight war in Hahimi saw the Australian collide with Jeff Cobb in an insanely brutal bout before delivering a monstrous suplex and a torpedo for the win. So yet with Jeff Cobb and Bad Luck Fale already adding their next list to the victims of Okada, the Rainmaker's not about to give up on his perfect record here with a loss to Jay White over the the IWGP World Heavyweight title still in his thoughts here in Osaka. Okada will want to leave the town with the image of him on top of his block and not on his back again. So Okada will coming close to being an irresistible force as there is in professional wrestling. Jonah is basically the new big Van Vader or um Bam Bam Bigelow. So first out is Jonah looking focused for the biggest match of his life. He's accompanied by Bad Dude Tito. Okada now out next, also focused. So Okada's going to be looking to slam the big monster Jonah, and win the block, win G1, and challenge Jay White for his title again, with fans being able to cheer him on. That is Okada's dream here, and it all starts with slamming Jonah apparently. So the bell rings. They stare each other down as the crowd claps loudly. This match should be a classic, and yes, it is. This is one we're gonna watch in a few years to be like, man, I want to go watch that match again. This is a good one. So Jonah's very good, and we know what Okada can do. So I was already assuming this was going to be a good one. They even exceeded my expectations. So they lock up now. Jonah uses his size and strength advantage right away to send Okada to the ropes, but Jonah does give him a clean break. Okada now charges in, but Jonah absorbs the attack, applying a headlock. Okada's having big time trouble getting out of this headlock as Jonah's using his size really well here to wear down Okada. This is a move that's effective for Jonah to try and take away Okada's major stamina advantage, especially in the Japanese heat. So it's not going to be something that we'll see right away. But if Jonah can do stuff like this, pushing his weight onto Okada for the next 5 minutes or so in the first 5 minutes here, it will add up later on. So Okada's finally able to get out of this headlock, but Jonah hits a shoulder tackle right away, knocking Okada out of the ring. Jonah lines Okada up while standing on the apron, but Okada evades his diving attack. Jonah lands on his feet, and Okada takes him down and wraps his leg around the barricade, using it as a fulcrum point here to damage Jonah's knee a little bit. Okada drags Jonah up the entrance ramp. Jonah blocks a vertical suplex attempt. Then Okada blocks one back, but Jonah hits a big body splash tackle to take control. So 5 minutes have already passed here, and unlike the other one match just before it, and this one only felt like only 1 minute has passed, and that was with that long headlock. So great stuff so far. Jonah then sends Okada into the barricade hard. Okada's looking rough already, so Jonah slams him again into the barricade back first, and then back first into the ring post as well. Jonah's pleased with his work and looks for a count-out victory here. Jonah must have some kind of plan because he couldn't have possibly thought he would have got the Okada count-out here. Okada in at 15, and Jonah goes right on the attack right away, standing on Okada's body here, affecting Okada's stamina further. So we did have an idea. Okada's now screaming and making some weird noises from these midsection attacks, some noises I've never heard come out of Okada before. So that was definitely interesting. Jonah then hits a nasty overhand chop that sends Okada down to his knees. Then Jonah squeezes the lungs from behind with a waist lock, also recovering his own stamina while draining the stamina of Okada. That's a very, very smart move for Jonah, especially if this one goes long. So again, Okada starts to get free, but a shoulder tackle takes him right back down. It has been a perfect match for Jonah so far, other than a little bit of that on the outside. not going his way. But everything else has been great according to plan. Okada's screaming noises I've never heard from him before. Okada might, if he gets tunnel vision later on about slamming Jonah, his back might give way, costing him the match. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Okada evades a corner charge now and hits a running diving European uppercut as we reach the 10-minute mark. Another quick 5 minutes already gone. Okada needs the next 5 minutes badly to be free of getting his wind attacked. So Okada quickens the pace here and hits some running attacks because, again, those attacks won't affect Okada's stamina yet. But if it goes long and these attacks continue, it will. Okada quickens the pace. And hits big running attacks. 3 of them in a row finally knocked the big Jonah down. Then Okada hits a DDT after that for a 2 count. And I'm thinking Okada might want to try and do that version of the inverted money clip that he used on Fale. That might work using the mass of the Giants against them. So Jonah now bails out of the ring to recover. Bad dude Tito's now talking trash to Okada, but Okada doesn't fall for this distraction. He sends Jonah crashing into Tito, who tried to hit a sneak attack, and then takes Jonah down hard. Jonah's now breathing heavily as well. His stamina is starting to affect him in this hot summer heat, in this high impact match, the big 400 pounder. So Okada now hits a beautiful looking tope con hero of all things on the both K9 Connection members. That was awesome. The crowd also loved it, and so did Okada, who gets fired up from this. As the crowd's now getting the loudest of the match, they do Okada claps. And then back in the ring now, Jonah's struggling to get to his feet. But once Okada does, he tries for a scoop slam on the 400 pounder, but Jonah just blocks it and hits a massive running senton for a 2 count. That was not what Okada needed with that. That just drove all the lungs. 2 big shots in a row to his mixed section. There was a spear before that running senton I should have mentioned as well. So 15 minutes have now passed. Just like I was mentioning, Okada needed to go through that 5-minute section without anything driving his air out. But right at the end there of the 5-minute span, he gets a spear and a senton that drives all the air out, and it's going to be a stamina issue going forward for Okada. Okada then blocks a Black Forest bomb with a back body drop, but that even hurt Okada's back even more. So Okada definitely, I would think, needs to abandon the idea of lifting Jonah, applying the money clip now, which I was thinking would be a good idea. Jonah is able to get his trachea is getting crushed, so he gets up to his feet quickly as he was about to pass out. Breaks the hold, but Okada hits a shotgun dropkick, taking Jonah right back down. Both men are down now, and Jonah gives a quick I don't know what I wrote there, but oh no, he gives a quick look into the camera as if to say, I'm not out of this yet. Jonah with a little cheeky little look into the camera here for everyone at home. Okada then tries to set Jonah up on the top rope and does, but that hurts his back as well. So Jonah blocks that drop kick attempt Okada likes to do from there and hits a diving shoulder tackle coming out, followed by a lariat, but Okada's still able to kick out at 2. Then Okada blocks another Black Forest bomb, hitting a drop kick, and then is able to scoop slam Jonah now. Okada's super fired up because that's what he wanted to do, and he just seems to grit through the pain in his back, going up to the top rope, hitting an elbow drop. The Rainmaker pose now as Okada's looking to end it with the Rainmaker. Jonah ducks under the lariat, but a drop kick takes Jonah right back down. That drop kick is working wonders for Okada. That's the same thing I do when I'm playing WWE 2K against much larger opponents, and I feel like I need to get them away from me. I do the drop kicks too, so it is very effective, like even in a video game setting. So Okada now misses another Rainmaker attempt, and Jonah traps the arms behind, hitting or like onto his body, hitting multiple exposed headbutts here. Both men are feeling the fire in their lungs and the stamina and the heat now. Jonah hits a lariat from hell. JBL would have been proud, but Okada again kicks out. Now we're at the 20-minute mark, and now we'll see if all that work that Jonah did early in the match, all the work he did to affect the stamina advantage that Okada started the match with, might now have Jonah, the big 400 pounder, with the stamina advantage. We'll see if it pays off. Jonah then sets Okada up on the top rope, hits a big chop, climbs up there with them. The crowd's getting super loud as they know this is a big moment of the match. Okada hits some strikes, going in the desperation mode. No, he also knows that it's the biggest moment of the match. Jonah gets knocked off. Then Okada tries a shotgun drop kick, but Jonah in midair counters it with a power bomb, then hits a Black Forest bomb, then goes up to the top rope with a massive splash, and the referee counts 1, 2, 3. The winner of this match by pinfall, the top dog, Jonah. Wow, huge upset, huge victory for Jonah. Jonah stands over the fallen body of Okada as the referee raises his hand. What a match here. Everything Jonah did worked to perfection. All the stamina draining moves that he used throughout the match, all from the very beginning, from the very first 5 minutes, all he worried about was draining the stamina of Okada, and it worked to perfection. So Jonah improves the 3-1, moving him into first place because he holds the tiebreaker over Okada. So Tuesday, Jonah will have to recover quickly. Only one day off, then he's back in the league match against Lance Archer of all people. Archer will be pumped up after this result. The destiny goes back into Archer's own hands if he can defeat Jonah and Okada in his final 2 matches. Fale's now last for Jonah. After that, it'll be Fale, and then Okada now falling to 3-1. Also still like in this one, but we'll have to hope that somebody can beat Jonah and Okada wins his next 2 matches. So Jonah now says, Okada, little man, I told you I would beat you, and I did. I wanted to speak to all of Osaka and the rest of the world, but I'm going to sit here on the apron TMDK style. Tito, get up here. Hi, Shane. Hi, Mikey. I'm going to speak about time. 1 year ago, I was told no, and it was heartbreaking. For many, that would keep them down. But for me, I have fighting spirit. So 1 year later, to the day after what he's referring to as getting fired from NXT, 1 year to the day, I beat the best pro wrestler in the world. I don't see time as a linear thing. The past, the present, the future, it's all happening at the same time. And I want to shine a light that will be seen forever. I am the top dog. I am mighty, and the mighty don't kneel. So in the back now, Jonah says, this year is my G1. Maybe next year it could be Bad Dude Tito's. Everyone said I couldn't beat Okada, but I knew I could. I'm too big, too strong, too mighty. And if we fight again, I'll take him out again. This heat is getting to me, and I've got Archer and his tiny little legs next. And you're right, Archer. I am a cat guy. What's an evil genius without cats? So I'm going to go to the hotel now, call my hot blonde wife, and get ready for Tuesday. So that ends the show there. Really, really good show. Really looking forward to the rest of G1. It's really shaping up. It's really getting super hot there. You can just tell everything's like draining, making everything just so much hotter to do and stuff like that. So I love this. I'm loving this G1, especially after last night. I can definitely overlook some of the downfalls of tonight. I would definitely feel bad if some of these Osaka fans got tickets for tonight's show and missed out on last night's show. So hopefully pretty much everybody in the building got to be there for last night's show, and then this was just like an addition. I mean, they still had to pay for it, and it was still decent action. That main event was great. That Okada Fale or the Okada Jonah match could be something we talk about in the future, especially if Jonah goes on to have a Vader like run in Japan wrestling. So, which could be a possibility. Jonah's not as young as you might think, but he's not terribly old either. So I could see it working out either way for sure. Next, we've got 2 nights in Hiroshima. And let me just go check real quick what our main events are. So Tuesday and Wednesday night, the 9th and the 10th, will be in Hiroshima. Then we've got on the 13th and 14th next weekend, a Tokyo show and a Nagano show. Then it's a week from Tuesday is the big night, the 16th. That'll be the night where there's 8 league matches all at once. The final 2 nights after that will be the semifinals and the finals, with everybody else like having tag matches and stuff. That'll set us up into September for the Burning Spirit tour that starts September 2nd. So we won't have to wait too long, only a couple week break after G1, but we've still got a lot of G1 action left. We've got the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th shows still to go. That's a lot of G1. A lot can happen in that short amount of time. Don't forget, there might be tiebreaker situations where people will have to have an extra match before going to the semifinals. So that's something we might see as well. The tiebreakers have definitely confused me coming into these events, and I'm just assuming that the ultimate tiebreaker is the head-to-head. But then Kevin Kelly said something weird last night that made me think, well, maybe the ultimate tiebreaker isn't head-to-head. So, like, For instance, I was thinking, well, now Okada can't finish with the same record on top as Jonah because Jonah just beat him head to head. But where the problem, I'm thinking that might still be the case, but the problem comes in is when there's three people tied. So we'll have to see what all the tiebreakers are. Maybe it's not head to head, because I've heard Kevin Kelly talking about how there could be additional matches to decide the winner of blocks before the semifinals, effectively making a quarterfinal round. So that's a possibility as well. All those matches on the final day are going to be epic. Even the ones that don't have, like, for instance, like Evil versus Goto, we don't know if that's going to be anything. Zack Saber Jr. versus Naito on that night is going to be amazing. We know Shingo's probably going to be in it, and El Phantasmo's his opponent, who's probably already out of it. And that's the semi-main event. The main, well, I guess they could still change who's the main event around, because right now, there's no reason that it wouldn't be Tama Tonga versus Jay White in the main event. So this is definitely, nobody's in the main event yet. They haven't decided, but Tama Tonga versus Jay White on the final day, I'm still thinking, even though Jay White's 4-0, it could all come down to that match. And then it might come down to who else is in D block that night. So Juice Robinson versus Will Ospreay and Shingo versus El Phantasmo. That one might decide who goes through, Shingo or Will. I'm thinking that David Finlay's probably going to fall off the pace now. Let's go see who David Finlay has in that last. So David Finlay finishes with El Phantasmo as well. So ELP definitely, even though he might be out of it with his disqualification tonight, ELP is going to have to decide who goes through with D block, depending on how he does. But I still think it might be Tama Tonga giving Jay White his first defeat, going through and maybe going all the way to the finals, where he might lose to an Okada or something like that. Maybe Tanahashi, but maybe even Shingo wins, or Will Ospreay. So we've got a lot of people that are still favorites to win, that are still in it. Nobody huge shockingly got eliminated yet. I like, maybe Juice getting eliminated so early was a shocker, but people like Ishii and Yano, and we knew that they were going to be eliminated. So a couple other surprises this year have been the great showings from YOSHI-HASHI and Yujiro, actually holding the only tiebreaker over D block leader right now, David Finlay. So there's a lot to look forward to. I'll be back tomorrow. I've been putting out not only the review videos, but special videos for the backstage comments. I know not everybody wants to read subtitles. Also, I can cut the time down from a half hour from each of those. If you come watch my video, it'll only be 15 minutes. So I'm trying to spread the good word. I don't want people to watch New Japan and not know that there's the backstage comments, because that's where you get all the great stories. Like, for instance, Kenta is amazing. Kenta is hilarious. Kenta has become one of my favorites, not only because he's a legend in wrestling, but because he's hilarious in every single one of these backstage segments. So check those videos out. I've got them all up on the page. I'll be back tomorrow with more backstage comments, and then we just roll right through it. Tuesday and Wednesday are the next shows. Then I think it's Saturday, Sunday, and then that Tuesday is the big night of 8 block matches all at once. No preliminary tags all night. It's just going to be straight up. Maybe a couple of the G1 matches won't mean anything, and they'll go first, and then after that, straight through G1 matches. So after that, it's like the very next 2 days is the semifinals and finals. So we've got some amazing stuff coming up. I can't wait. And after yesterday's amazing show, an amazing main event with Shingo and Will, I'm definitely fired up. So I'm going to get going. I've been pumping out so many videos. I might get another one out before I go to bed with Impact Wrestling. So thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll talk to you guys again real soon. Peace.